I'm Richard Randall, and welcome back to the Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She is the Real Estate Voice. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or to sell real estate, and it does it with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb, if someone's thinking of selling their home, what are some of the top things that a home seller should do to prepare their home for sale so they get the very most out of what for most people is probably the biggest investment of their life?
Absolutely, Richard. And a lot of people take certain things for granted. They assume that it's okay to just put their house on the market with repair issues that need to get done or things that need to be fixed. Can I just give them a financial credit? But at the end of the day, as more homes go on the market and there's more homes to compete with, as a home seller, you have to make sure that you are out of the gate looking amazing. So it starts with curb appeal, because we know what buyers do. When they see something go on the market, sometimes they don't reach out to a real estate agent. It starts with pictures, of course. And if they like what they see, then they're going to spend money and get in their car and do a drive-by. They're going to drive by and see if they like the neighborhood, the area. So curb appeal is absolutely important. It's sort of like a first impression, right? And so if the yard looks unkept, if it just looks like it has deferred maintenance, the automatic kind of subliminal assumption is the rest of the house is not well maintained either. So it's absolutely important to make sure you get curb appeal right. And it's not that difficult. Even in the winter time, you can make your yard look great. Even though it's still kind of a seller's market, we know that buyers eliminate homes based on deferred maintenance because most of them, they just want to move in, drop their stuff and get on with their lives. Most of them do not want a project. They want to move in and love their home and get on with their lives. I just spoke with a buyer recently that told me that she eliminates homes in 5 clicks online. So it starts with online, right? And then if they like what they see, then they're going to drive by. And so I'm showing you a picture right now of a house where the grass in the front yard is completely dead. This
Wow.
picture was taken in the summer when
Whoa.
everybody else's yard is green. So that didn't work out for them. And I showed this house. I went in, there was a lot of broken stuff. It was just hard to get the buyer over the edge to want to buy this home because it needed work, it needed attention, it needed money. You want nice, pretty green yards. If your yard is no longer green, that's okay. But if it's still green and you're thinking of selling, even in the springtime, give us a call. We offer a free, no-cost photo shoot of the outside just to have that ready to go before the yards go dormant. And it's amazing. Cosmetic finishes really do impact buyers more than you think, because in their mind, they're doing the math, right? So they're looking at, all right, so this house needs flooring, it needs whatever, right? It needs some kind of work to be done. And typically their offer will come in 5 times less than the cost of fixing whatever that one thing was, right? I just sold a house just yesterday in which the carpet was old and tired. It was maybe 10 years old, but it had traffic areas. It looked really tired. It was a higher price point. So finally, I convinced the seller, let me please replace the carpet. And they didn't have a lot, available. I said, it's okay. We have a program where we can fund it for you and get reimbursed at closing. And that made the difference. And we actually got it sold for top dollar yesterday. Staging and dealing with clutter is also hugely important. We have different kinds of staging. We have do-it-yourself staging where we'll send you the general staging notes and it will have tips on what to do, what not to do to get the house ready for sale. Let me give you a couple of examples, like the kitchen. Okay, everything has to be off the counters of the kitchen except the coffee pot. All the rugs have to be picked up. Don't leave your dish towels hanging from the stove. It just doesn't photograph well. You can go back to normal life after the pictures are taken, but don't do it for the pictures, because then we have to digitally remove those. So that's do-it-yourself staging. And then we could have a staging consult done, where we have a interior designer professional come in and go room by room by room, what to do, what not to do to get your house ready for photos. Sometimes we do digital staging, and sometimes we actually bring in pieces to make the home look better. We don't normally photograph things like the inside of closets. Unless they're empty, they just don't photograph well. Or the inside of pantries, same thing. They just don't photograph very well. We want to make sure that all the pictures out there are pictures in which the buyer decides this home looks more valuable than the asking price. We're going to come see it. Okay. So we don't do every single image of the home. And that's part of what you get when you call us. You get staging advice. We'll help you prioritize what to do and what not to do to get your house ready for sale. You can probably put your excess stuff neatly in boxes in the garage. That's okay, because typically we don't shoot the inside of garages. And buyers will look inside the closet. So we actually have staging tips on what to do, especially in the master closet, because you want that to look a wow for the buyers when they come view the home. And whether or not to paint. So I have this discussion a lot with sellers, because they feel like, yeah, paint's no big deal. You can just, you could paint it yourself. It would take one afternoon or whatever. However, we know for a fact, I have empirical evidence that buyers will eliminate a home online because of just one room that has dramatic paint, especially key rooms like kitchens, baths, living rooms, that kind of stuff. It's very, very important. And then how can you tell if a home is cluttered? It's pretty easy. Take your phone, take some pictures of it, and blow those pictures up on your computer. Back away. If it still doesn't look cluttered to you, get a family member that's brutally honest to you and say, what do you think? Would you want to see this house? And just be brutally honest with me. And they will be. But at the end of the day, I've done it. I did it back in 2013 when we had that fire bearing down on us. One of the suggestions I got was, hey, take pictures of everything in your house in case it burns down. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. So I went around, took pictures, and didn't think much about it. And then we had to get prepared to pre-evacuate. And then after, it didn't come to us, but after the fire, I went and looked at those pictures and I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, my house is cluttered. I didn't even know. But you can't tell. When you live in it every day, you don't notice it. So you want to make sure you have a very objective view of it. Now, basically focus on the key rooms: curb appeal, front door, backyard, living room, kitchen, master bathroom, and master bedroom. Those are the key rooms to get those right. Now, how do you tackle clutter? First of all, I don't know about you, Richard, but I have a little bit of ADD in me. Are you that way?
A lot. The answer is a lot.
I call myself a squirrel sometimes. I'm like, focus, stay on this topic. So it's the same thing with clutter, especially in a home. It's very easy to get sidetracked of, oh, I'm going to put this over here. And then you start working on that room. Do it one room at a time. That's the best way to get it done, and focus on those key rooms first. There's always going to be a bedroom or two that may have boxes, and you'll get to that last. That's fine. But focus on those key rooms I mentioned: curb appeal, backyard, living room, kitchen, master bathroom, master bedroom. Box away any unused clothes. Like, it's kind of hard because we're in between seasons right now, but make sure, like, if you're not going to wear I have these coats. I have this one coat my husband calls, when I put it on, it's one of those padded coats. He says I look like the Michelin Man in it. He doesn't like that coat, but it's warm. So I wear it. However, if it's a summertime, you're probably not going to be wearing coats. So pack those things away that you're not going to use. And make sure with the master closet, everything's off the floor. Kitchens and baths, everything off the counter, except for in the kitchen, the coffee pot. Even the tissue paper, take it, put it away. Even the soap, put it away. Pick up those floor rugs that you use day to day. just for the photos. You can put them back down for showing, that's okay. But make sure for the photos, those are not there because they're distracting and make it look cluttered and less attractive. And so that's kind of how it works. That's just some beginning tips to help you get your home ready for sale, Richard.
Boy, you know how to do exactly that. I mean, and a lot of it's common sense, but we don't think about it until you tell us about it. You're listening to the Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can always reach her at 719-301-3900. And if you're in the car or moving around, you haven't been able to listen to the entire show, you can always catch Barb on her YouTube channel or Barb on all of the various podcast platforms. It's spelled SCHLINKER. Just do a search. Barb, what are some of the other things that a home seller can do to prepare their home for sale?
Well, the goal is to make your home look like a model home. Now we know most people don't live like that. A lot of people kind of freak out when I come over because they're like, oh my God, my house is a mess. I'm like, I don't care. We're going to help you get there. You don't have to worry about our first appointment. Most people are not ready on the first appointment. But if there's excess stuff that you have to take with you, you might want to rent a storage place and pack those away. There's certain rooms that are a little bit tend to be overcrowded. Like I was in one last week where the entire room was filled with bookcases and stuff, right? It's just too much, right? I couldn't get past all the stuff, even though there was a fireplace, which should be the focal point of the room. So it's really a good idea to do that. Some of these storage places are not very expensive, and just focus on the basics. Curb appeal, flooring. If your flooring has track stains or stained carpet, or if it's hardwood that needs to be recoated, make sure you take care of those things as best you can, and clean, 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 clean is very, very important. Flooring's a big deal for buyers because first of all, they see it as a big expense, and carpet allowances or whatever just don't work. I had a gentleman that we sold his mom's home this last summer, and everything was not updated. It was built in the 70s, and the flooring was original. And that was the only thing they updated. And we ended up, even after the market shifted, getting a bunch of people to the open house. And we had multiple offers, and it sold for basically retail just by doing flooring. That was it. And then the question is, how do you refinish floors? Well, it depends on the price. It could be super expensive. It might be less expensive to put carpet over it. It doesn't matter. Buyers want move-in ready, drop their stuff, get on with their lives. And carpet and flooring, probably one of the hardest things for a buyer to have to replace right after they buy their home, right? Because that means they can't move anything in until they get that done. And it takes a week or two probably to get contractors out to do it. And our team is designed and structured to get your home photo ready. We'll give you guidance on what to do, what not to do to get top dollar for your home. We'll give you support on photo day. All you need to do is call us at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to the Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. It's not just the name, it's the guarantee as well. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break, but when we come back, we'll be discussing how to cancel your listing agreement if your house is not selling. A little bit controversial, but something that does come up. You want the advice of Barb Schlinker. Stay tuned for that.